Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now.
I'm not saying that you're weird for watching TLDR, the LockerGnome Daily Report, even though I do believe it is broadcasting a minute ahead of schedule. And if you didn't catch yesterday's impromptu broadcast of TLDR, it wasn't really TLDR though, it was just me broadcasting, Diana and I building the Lego Star Wars Tantive 4 set from Lego with approximately 1,400 pieces. I think we assembled it in record time, and I'll get to that, I guess, during the course of this particular broadcast. Just want to make sure that everybody is tuned in safely, and with any luck, you are. I'm going to go ahead and hit refresh there. I don't know if YouTube's necessarily fixed the bug that we keep running into, but, Browser Nerd watched the whole thing, and I think the broadcast was 4.5 hours, which is still on YouTube. I'll mention this again when we do the separate video recording for it. Someone asked, why'd you keep it? I said, well, keeping it would be, or deleting it would be just as stupid as keeping it. So I might as well keep it, and if anybody wants to watch it, they can. There were actually a few questions that we'd answered during the course of the broadcast, and so you had a chance really to jump in and find out my answers to your questions. And I really answered a lot that were passed along, or the questions that were passed along by way of Kevin, one of the people in our community, and Matt Ryan, and who, if you didn't know, also helps us with LockerGnome. He creates a lot of the articles that I do videos about. Our Barry Sass says, hey Chris, nice to see you as always. Mugs up. This is the mug that I showed in my Christmas haul video. It's the one with, I think, Luke Skywalker on that side, yep, and Darth Vader on this side. And this was a gift from Diana's parents. And speaking of gifts, the big day is tomorrow, in case you did not know. And that big day is Diana's birthday. She has been asking for some presents, and she's already received her presents from me. She, you want to throw your hand in there?
I don't have it.
You don't have it on?
Because we weren't going anywhere. I don't want to get it dirty. I can go get it.
It's okay.
Look, I don't have earrings on.
Oh, yeah. No. You went, yeah. I don't think she was expecting that I was going to show off what she got for her birthday. I was bragging on her, as I'm prone to do.
But if they see the video, they can see it.
The video?
The Lego video.
Oh, I guess, yeah, it was in the Lego video, briefly. She now has a promise ring. First promise ring I've ever given anybody, and so she's now wearing that on her finger when she wears it. Obviously, not right now. And then she also got a nice little sparkly bracelet with gems inside. Very sparkly. I tell you. I'm not much of a jewelry guy myself. Don't really know what to pick. But I've done well with the jewelry that I've picked for Diana. And it's been, I would say, affordable and still sparkly. Mm-hmm. Still looks good. All right. Well, the only thing that she really wants for her birthday is for you to donate to Andrew's chair at bit.ly/Andrew's chair, bit.ly/Andrew's chair. And we did a video on that, separate video, actually, on Friday. I think it was Friday afternoon. UK Harlem C says, Chris, I'll donate $200 just for her birthday. Now, that's according to UK Harlem C, so that's very, very nice. Andrew is on, I think he's about a third of the way to getting his wheelchair and the supportive costs for the wheelchair, thanks in large part to our community. He didn't have much traction before, but when he started to donate to us, and I realized, hey, it's you need to keep this stuff because having a wheelchair is a lot more important than if you need it than it is to donate back to our community for that matter. Matt's 417 says, and pie. She wants pie. Everyone's saying happy birthday to you, though. If you want to say happy birthday to Diana, feel free. Say it now.
Thank you.
Or forever hold your peace. It's difficult to say, though. No 5-minute delay today, some people are noting. And I'm not exactly sure how many people are tuned in live when we do the YouTube broadcast. Although I can tell you, if you like this video, please like the video. It's easy to do. And that's an easy indicator. We had about 350 people tune in for the live Lego build this weekend, yesterday. It was just impromptu. I just set it up, and I was very happy that many of you were following me on Twitter and Facebook and Google+. And speaking of, let's go ahead and tease those out. Feel free to tweet and retweet just like we do for every single one of our articles on LockerGnome.com. I'm going to go ahead and post that at Chris Pirillo on Twitter. You can also follow at LockerGnome if you are so inclined. And let's go ahead and share this to our almost 45,000 people on Facebook. It's growing. We're not going down, we're going up. That's a good thing. You can go ahead and post that. And then let's go ahead and +1 this video on the video page itself. We'll press share, +1. We're going to publicly share this to my now 400,000 circlers on Google+. Can you believe that? How time flies. Seems just like yesterday we were at 399,999. And technically speaking, that's precisely where we were yesterday. I think somewhere around the midnight mark, we just gained an insane amount of circlers. So thank you for following me and or LockerGnome on any one of these social networks. It's more than just about videos with YouTube. It is about being everywhere all at one time. And there's some things that I share on Twitter that I don't share on Facebook, and many things I share on Facebook that I don't share on Google+, and so many things I don't share on Google+, or that I share on Google+, I don't share anywhere else. Really, it's not the same thing over and over again. You get a little bit different me in every location. And just minutes before starting this live broadcast, I shared an old photo of myself where I had shoved a Microsoft mouse into my mouth. Not a wireless mouse. It was like one of the classic corded mice with a scroll wheel, though. It was I think it had a scroll wheel. I'll have to look. But I shared that on Google+ saying, thank you for circling me. And I gagged when I did that. You didn't see that part of the picture. It was like, nothing really came out, though. It was okay. Feel free to ask questions as we go with the flow here during the live TLDR broadcast, as you are watching it on YouTube. TLDR, short, of course, for the LockerGnome Daily Report. And I'm sure someone is going to ask that question during this broadcast again, and that's okay. We'll answer your questions. Feel free to subscribe to the LockerGnome email newsletter if you haven't already. I have it on good authority that we've got some good giveaways coming up, and it's kind of fun. This is the one thing that we do. We strive to make this information entertaining and engaging and really geeky but useful. And there's one thing, being geeky, but it's another thing entirely to be practical about the information that you're sharing. And we try to be at that what would you call that? The junction point right there, the delta. I want to get really technical. That's the delta. With any luck, everyone is enjoying themselves today, even though it is a Monday. I do understand that. And, again, thank you for wishing Diana a very happy early birthday. We will see about what we'll share tomorrow. Yeah. Don't know, are we going to do anything special for your birthday with the show tomorrow?
We can.
We can?
Yeah.
I don't know what it's going to be.
Do you have any ideas?
If you have any ideas for what we should do special with the show tomorrow, feel free to comment or drop me a line, chris@Pirillo.com. I'll catch them all. And so, without further ado, let me go ahead and get a couple things out of the way before we rock and roll with a couple of LockerGnome articles, because we got a few to share. 8 posted today on LockerGnome.com. Feel free to read along when we do. But before then, let's go ahead and do the Tantive 4 review as a separate video. And then I'll ignore Lego for a while, but I'll get back to it again later on in the broadcast, because I have a couple more things to share related to Lego, which is just so geeky. I'm sorry. I refuse to not share my excitement and enthusiasm for the bricks. Okay. Alrighty, thank you, honey. I appreciate it. Diana is the end-all, be-all girlfriend. Okay, hang on, just a second. Oh wait, step that way, just a bit. In the light, no. You can come around this way. Sorry, it's like the light gets in the way. It's crazy. It's like a home office that turns into a television studio. Are you afraid of being seen? Okay, then you can extend it very carefully here in a second. I am an awful, AFOL, adult fan of Lego. And I also have an ogle, adult girlfriend of Lego. And I've reached out recently on Twitter asking, hey, if anybody wanted to sponsor me and send some Lego sets for me to build. Bull Market Toys at bullmarkettoys.com responded with that. And they also have a unique coupon. You can save 10% by using the coupon code CHRIS10P with free shipping and handling with orders over $25. And one of the sets that they sent, we built yesterday live on YouTube. You could have tuned in, and if you missed it, we've got the full 4.5 hours in the LockerGnome YouTube channel, and then we also had recorded a time lapse, thanks to Kevin, at succinctly 8 minutes in the Brick Tricks YouTube channel, and we annotated both of those so that you could watch it all over again. And the nice thing is, it's not just about Lego. I'm answering the questions as asked by the community. Had a few people tune in for that. So my girlfriend Diana is holding on very patiently to this. Does that look familiar? That's the first spaceship you see in episode 4. This is the Tantive 4, also known as the Rebel Blockade Runner. Approximately 1,400 pieces. And it took us, it took us less time to build because it came with 2 booklets. The bags of pieces or bricks were not numbered. So we first organized the pieces on the table, and it took us, I think we shaved off 2 hours, because as I worked on book 1, Diana was working on the second book. And no stickers in this set, which thrilled me to death. I'm going to go ahead and set it down just to show you the minifigs that it came with. It does not have landing struts. That was kind of a surprise. But in terms of the minifigs, we have the classic Princess Leia with the buns on her head. Sorry if I've got her in a shadow. There we go. Princess Leia. We've got Captain Antilles. And he's signified, or I guess differentiated from the other Rebel soldiers because of his tan uniform. There's a Rebel soldier. And he actually has a reversible face. And in the photos that I uploaded of the set and the build, I uploaded them to my Flickr account, Google+, my Facebook account, so you can see full-on details, beyond what I'm sharing in this video review. Of course, an R2 unit, right there, and it's R2-D2, of all things, and a less than $300 valued C-3PO. This, I think, is my 4th C-3PO minifig. It's kind of crazy. So, what I'm going to go ahead and do is pick this up, and let's go ahead and pop open the cockpit for me, honey. Thank you. Just lift it straight back. It has a hinge, and inside we'll see a couple of seats and computers. Thank you, hon. Should stick. A couple seats up front where the soldiers can sit, and then we'll go ahead and close the cockpit. Nice little hinge. This part pops off. And inside, you'll be able to see another computer console, and if I tilt it to the side, some more computers, where Rebel soldiers can stand, although they can't stand in there if you intend on putting this back on. You probably should if you're going to be flying this around. This particular part comes off as well, and it's this weird little, like, remote sled. I'm not exactly sure what this is. I don't remember it from the movie, but just something that you could use as well for your play, if you do play. And I do enjoy Lego a fair bit. Did I get that in there right? Sometimes getting it in there the second time is a bit more of a challenge. There we go. I think I got it. And then the escape pod. This is pops off, and actually both sides pop off. And in the escape pod, you can accommodate C-3PO and R2-D2, and that's exactly what we're going to do here. We're going to see, where's 3PO? 3PO! Oh, where can he be? 3PO! Shut down all the garbage mashers on the detention level. 3PO! All right, so then he can go back on there, if you will. Well, sometimes, like I said, getting it after they come off, unless you're aligned perfectly, they're not going to go back on very easily. Those, I believe, are the only true features of this particular ship in terms of what's removable. There's a radar dish, keeping you aware that the Empire is on its way. And then, of course, the classic view back there. Diana assembled all of these components. So everything back here, and also different components throughout, including rotating turrets. Rotating so well, it pops right off. There we go. That's what I love about Lego. You can put it right back on. There's another turret there, and there's also a belly turret down there, down below. And I would say quite an insane amount of detail for this set. I was quite happy with putting it together, being a huge Star Wars fan. And I know there are many Star Wars fans out there, and also Lego fans as well. This is, I would say, a good set. If only because no stickers, and I like that. Not a lot of minifigs, though. I was a little disappointed in that, but there wouldn't be a lot of places for you to accommodate the minifigs. I could have done with another Rebel soldier. like this guy. This is a second Rebel soldier that I ended up getting thanks to TX Wolfhawk, and he's been sending me, let's see if I have him with a gun. This was ordered through my Amazon wish list at go.tagjag.com/wishlist, and TX Wolfhawk has been, I think just as excited as me as far as being an adult fan of LEGO, and I wanted to thank him for donating this minifig and other minifigs, which I've been sharing in the channel from my Amazon.com wish list. So there you go. I'm not sure if there's really much else to say other than if you want it, you can get it. Bull Market Toys can get it to you at 10% off, which is quite nice, if you can save money buying anything. Very happy they sent this set to me, kind of as a gift, or I guess as a sponsor, but, I'm always I'll do just about anything for LEGO and bricks, and specifically minifigs. It's kind of the secret. If you want me to do something, LEGO is the way to my heart. Or Star Wars, really, is a secondary. But really, LEGO. So, there we go. Feel free to check out that full live assembly on our YouTube channel. We'll be sure to annotate that, as well as the time-lapse if you don't want to spend 4.5 hours of your life, and I don't blame you. It was fun to do live, and so we thought we might do it again at some point, especially if there are any other adult fans of LEGO. I found out that one person watching live, his younger brother, he said, was building the Tantive 4 alongside me virtually. He saw that I was putting it together, and he decided to put it together too. It was kind of fun, I think. And I know I've helped a lot of geeks out there kind of rekindle their passion and interest for building things, whether we're talking about the LEGO brand bricks or something of the like. This is a geeky pursuit. I mean, not like, an Imperial pursuit where the, let's see, I was gonna do something. Okay, I think you may need to take the toy away from me here. So, may the Force be with you. Whoop! Hey, LockerGnome, on a scale of 1 to 10, how do you grade LEGO? I'd say a 9. They're doing actually pretty well in terms of engagement. So there, I got these, I mentioned these minifigs. Get these out of the, I want to do potentially a separate one, but I may do the roundup of minifigs in the second. I want to do 2 LEGO videos today. This was one of them. And the other one will be Wicket barking. Hey, Chris, WTF, every 10th comment is about Diana, so show her, please. We have. She's going to go call Wicket. Or calm Wicket. One of the two. Nope, it's Imperial. Chris, can you sell your desk and have a LEGO brick desk instead? No, that would suck. I would not be able to use this. If it was a LEGO. I would never get anything done, to tell you the truth. All right, so let's move on with some LockerGnome.com articles, because I know everyone's antsy about, or asking. I don't think anybody got that joke, but we'll just move along anyway. CES 2012 is happening right now, and if you couldn't already tell, I am not there. Happily, I've attended CES in the past, and I've skipped a few years, and to tell you the truth, I get just as much out of CES in being here as I have being there, other than when I have a sponsor to help me get there and cover things. Beyond that becomes a huge drain on time, energy, and resources. So if you are not attending CES, do not feel bad, really, because there are a lot of us that aren't attending CES, and there are reasons you should be glad that you're not attending CES. We've written this article for you, linked in the description on LockerGnome.com, why you should be glad you're not attending CES 2012. And if you are, hey, knock yourself out. We've got some reasons why it's really not as big of a deal as some people make it out to be. So let me go ahead and +1 that page so that everybody knows that I'm reading it and that I like it. And let's also go ahead and tweet it out and like it on Facebook. Feel free to do the same thing as I'm explaining to you why CES isn't as big deal as you think it is. Here's my experience with CES in the past, and I have every reason to believe that it's the same today as it was, even last year or the year before. Yeah, last year was fun. I did that in conjunction with Reese's as a sponsor. That was awesome. We gave out candy. It was so much fun and tasty. I gained 15 pounds at CES and loved every minute of it. Here's the experience. Oh, a laptop. Oh, a digital camera. Oh, a TV. Oh, an iPhone case. Oh, an iPad case. Oh, an Android tablet. That's really it. Not a lot of swag anymore. And here's the thing. What's most exciting about CES is being covered by just about everybody. So even if you can't go, you can still experience the best of CES from the comfort of your own home. You don't need to walk the floors to get a product shot. You can just look for it elsewhere, online. Save yourself the hassle. You, trust me, do not want to deal with the taxi lines at CES, the hotel costs at CES, the general hubbub. And here's the thing, and I keep saying here's the thing, but there's a lot of things to cover. Even with it being called CES, the Consumer Electronics Showcase, it's not really for consumers as much as it is for dealers and manufacturers and distributors. I mean, there are consumer products, but really, it's not a show for the tech consumers. I mean, there's products of interest, certainly, but a lot of those big product announcements are not just repetitive, but many of them are already online. You're going to get just as much out of it sitting in front of your screen, pointing and clicking by people covering this remotely as you might from being there. Save yourself the time, the money, and the hassle. Another thing that, beyond the repetitiveness and, ease of access to information elsewhere, you've got to remember that these types of events, they're a nice place where you can meet other people, potentially industry luminaries, those who, I recognize that face or I recognize that name. And so there's a value in that. But having done these types of big events before and small events, I'm much more inclined to go and enjoy a smaller event because the one-on-one networking time is so much more accessible. When we covered the Gadget event here in Seattle, this was last year at some point, 6 months ago or so, we got like 10 videos out of it in the course of an hour, and it would have taken us like 2 days to get 10 interesting videos out of a bigger event because of the amount of time that you have to spend walking from one pavilion to another. So, we've outlined several reasons, beyond the ones that I've shared in this particular video, why CES just isn't that big of a deal. It's nice to see the things that are coming, somewhat, well ahead of time, but the TV's bigger, the computer's faster. It's interesting. It is absolutely interesting. It is a chance for you to geek out a million ways over, but is it worth the headache and expense if someone else is already covering it? I don't know. Maybe it's just that I've done it too many times. And I've been doing this I've been around since Comdex was around. And Comdex is no longer around. It just kind of caved in on itself. But beyond that, I think you're better off spending your time at smaller events. You're going to get more bang for your buck. I really do believe that. So don't feel bad if you didn't make CES this year. It could very well happen. Who knows? You may be there now. In which case, I'm wondering, why are you watching this video? You should be covering it for everybody else. We've got Craighton's down there, and I think he's also contributing to LockerGnome while he is there. And that's fine. I'm very happy that he's there. I just don't want to stress out. I'll go to Vegas, but I like the shows. Shows are good, I think. Especially the Cirque du Soleil shows. Those are my favorite shows. Now, if you've never been to Vegas, you have to see a Cirque du Soleil show. My favorite one, Ka. And that's something I hope to see at some point in the future. Again, it was a blast. I'm not a gambler. And I don't really like... I don't gamble anything. Even in games, I don't... Even when it's fake money, I don't gamble with that. Not that I have anything against Vegas. It's just a... meh. breaking a sweat. Is that my problem? Oh, you have ice cream. I said, I don't know if you heard her. She said, hotter chicks in Vegas? Apparently you've not seen Diana. I've got all the Vegas I want right here.
Oh.
Did you, is that done then? You done with that one? I see since you're just taking little drips out of it. We get our ice cream at half off at Ben & Jerry's because we use the iPhone app Perk, P-I-R-Q. Oh, someone was trying to slam me. Unfortunately, they spelled your incorrectly. Well, they spelled it correctly. It was just, they used the possessive form. RYMax99. It's Y-O-U''RE in your use case because you're saying you are this, not your Y-O-U-R. Dumbass. If you're going to, try to slam me, at least do it, with proper punctuation, usage, grammar, and spelling, because not doing that just makes you look like an idiot. All right, so next article on LockerGnome.com. Hybrid cars, are they as good as some claim? It's a good question, too. Since uploading my video a few years ago, reviewing the Prius 5 a month or so after I started to lease it, it's already generated like hundreds of thousands of views. Hey, I know you're thinking, well, Chris, I thought you were a technology guy. No, I'm a geek, and I was geeking out over the car. It got an insane amount of views. In fact, if you look at my channel, the most highly trafficked videos are the ones not about technology, which makes me wonder, okay, so do we need to be doing more geeky content, not just tech stuff? I think so, because that's the way YouTube seems to respond to the content that we share. So I gave a walkthrough, and I got to tell you, well, I guess it was a drive-through, although not really a drive-through. My perspective on the Prius 5, I have loved leasing that vehicle. I can't say that I smile when I go to pay for gas, but very rarely have I spent over $30 filling up the tank, and it gets me just as far as any other vehicle that I've driven. So for anybody who would say, drive a real car. Well, last I looked, that is a real car. It's got 4 wheels, steering wheel. I guess that make it 5 wheels. 4 wheels on the road, 1 wheel in front that you can position your hands on, and it's got a radio. It's got a USB port, glove compartment. What else? Radio? Did I even mention radio in there? So I'm very happy with it, and it's something that I've been leasing, and I'm considering leasing a Prius when my lease is up later this year. We've written an article on LockerGnome.com. You're welcome to watch the video review I did of the Prius if you want. Hundreds of thousands of you have already. And the article that we had just written up is titled Hybrid Cars. Hybrid Cars. Suddenly I'm from... What's that accent from? Is that Chicago? Hybrid cars, are they as good as some claim? I can tell you that the Prius has served me very well, and this is not a paid endorsement at all. Toyota has no idea I even exist, sadly. But I love the cruise control, and as I demonstrated in the video, you can set the cruise control, and other cars have this option as well, and instead of hitting the brake if a car in front of you slows down, it will automatically adjust accordingly, and I love that feature. You want to talk about geeky, that is geeky, and that also helps me save on gasoline, because it just uses as much energy as it needs to use. The car is smart enough, really, to kind of drive itself if you let it. As I said, even last year, when I went to take my statements into the accountant, he thought, well, wait a minute, are you sure this is right for the amount of gas that you paid this year? And I looked at him like, yeah, I spent less than $1,000 in gas in a year. That was a year ago, so that had been about 2010. Less than $1,000 for gas. Granted, I do work at home, but I do get around town very frequently, and I leave the house every day, or at least try to every day. So I've been, really impressed with what it was. It met my expectations to the point where I am considering my next lease going with the same vehicle, only the 2013, since the one I have is a 2010 that I got at the end of 2009 when the 2010s were brand new. Drove it really sight unseen. These things were just flying, you know, I don't know, not really off the shelves. They weren't really flying. I wish it could fly. They were driving out of dealerships at breakneck speed, and so I was, and I'm not really interested in what you think I might buy in getting mad at me or upset about my purchasing decision, because, you know, why would you get upset over somebody else's decision for their own life? It's kind of crazy. But for some reason, cars are almost like computers in that way. There are a lot of hybrid cars on the road, and there are certainly some things to consider. Take a look at the article on LockerGnome.com. Feel free to watch my Prius review that was done a few years ago, and like I said, it was a pretty popular video. I don't know. Do you think I would probably make either a really, really good car reviewer, because I'm not a car geek, or a really, really bad one? I don't know which, really. I look at the practical applications, not just what's on the sticker sheet. Even with cars, specs aren't everything. It's how you use these things, right? Anyway. Oh, and it looks like Joe Sully Carpenter. GPS is mandatory. Agreed. What is the one piece of car technology you could not live without? And assuming you're living with it now, because if you haven't lived with it yet, then you don't know what it's like to be living without it. What's that one thing? For me, I think GPS would be the number one thing. Even though I love Bluetooth, I love that cruise control feature that I have right now, that GPS, I would say, I would agree, mando. It has nothing to do with mileage, but your mileage may vary. People say that, it's kind of a joke. Chris, did you hear the Honda FCX Clarity with a hydrogen fuel cell? I had not. But the Prius is ugly. Who cares? People, your PC is probably butt ugly, but you use it anyway and it does the job. I don't care. You know what? I don't mind that people, oh, is that the car you drive? I don't drive the car to impress you. Just so you know. I really don't. I don't care. I don't care what anybody thinks. Oh, yeah, that's your car? It's so gray. Tell you what, I'll make you a deal. You pay for the car, you pay for the gasoline, I will let you decide. Until then, butt warmers. Oh, actually, he said seat warmers. I call them butt warmers. Aber Christian says, and I have we have butt warmers too. Seat warmers, sorry. Satellite radio, I stopped paying for satellite radio late last year. Very happy without it. Satellite radio is largely a waste of money, and being a paid subscriber, I can say that. Having been a paid subscriber, I should say. Wheels, I guess, are a piece of technology, but we all have to have wheels. Come on. You can't, drive down the road on blocks. That would suck. Chris, would you ever work for Microsoft or Apple? Yes, but I doubt they would hire me. All right. How robots are slowly taking over the job market. Mercado. That's the Spanish word for market. Right? Had to verify it there with my translator. Hey, could you translate what I say into Spanish?
Your article?
No, now. If I say something, could you translate it into Spanish? Mm-hmm. This tea is delicious. Well, that didn't work. All right, so moving along with the next article on LockerGnome.com. Y'all reading along with me? I'll give you a couple seconds. Click the link. It's in the description. You ready? Here we go. Robots. Gotta watch out. They steal old people's medicine, if you didn't know. That video is on YouTube. Feel free to check it out. That's not hearsay. It's actually an old Saturday Night Live sketch. It was very popular back in the day, along with old classic Saturday Night Live commercials like, what was it, Colon Blow, and Oops, I Crapped My Pants. Yeah, those are the good old days. Oh, and then, of course, clownpenis.fart. So we've got an article that we wrote on LockerGnome about really none of those things, but I was looking for some kind of fun segue. And I don't mean the segue you ride around on. I mean the segue of getting from one part of something to another. Segue. It looks like segue. If you ever read it, it's segue. How robots are slowly taking over the job market. You probably could look around yourself right now, and what you have is potentially not made by hand, but by machine. Some people might complain, they took our job. Well, they might have taken your job. And that's likely going to happen even if they hadn't taken your job. It may happen at some point in the future, but you shouldn't freak out because there's another opportunity. If you know how robots work or can repair them, there's a lot of money to be made in robotics. So even if they have replaced your skill or somebody that you know of their skill, they can still learn a new skill, a new trade. And robots are not going away. They are everywhere. Grocery stores, have you noticed them? Every grocery store is equipped with robots. The robots enable me to, well, I guess it wouldn't really be a robot. The electronics really allow me to interact with my groceries, interact with them. Hello, T. I'm going to buy you. Okay, Chris, but don't drink me. Oh, no. It's a horrible interaction with T. I can self-checkout thanks to electronics. I don't have to go through somebody who is a skilled grocery checker, a clerk, a checkout person. I can do it all myself thanks to the miracle of technology. Now, granted, these aren't like walking, talking robots, but not every robot has to walk and talk. I mean, that I don't think is the definition of a robot or something that can do something that a human being could do, but do it better, and certainly not get injured at the same time. Dock workers certainly have relied on robotics. Vehicles that are assembled rely on robotics. Even call centers. When you pick up the phone, if you still do that physically, pick up the phone and you call in and you're interacting with some kind of voice response system, an IVR, I believe is the acronym. That's a robot. It's doing a job that a human being was doing previously, or certainly facilitating the process. And if you are, working in a field that could potentially be, I guess, changed by the introduction of robotics and electronics, you got to think ahead. Think about developing, different skills. Now, one possibility, and this isn't really skill set, but Johnny Boy Live mentions here in the live YouTube broadcast, I'd love to be a cyborg. Crime is up because of robots, says Octasian. I'm not exactly sure where you get your statistics. I've never heard of a robot holding up a person, on the street. Could happen. I'm not saying good robots can go bad, but as long as they adhere to the 3 laws of robotics, hopefully, we'll get along together. A machine that resembles a human and does mechanical routine tasks on command, says Oh Pure Ghost. One classic definition of a robot, but it's evolving. Just like robots and the idea of robots evolve, because I would consider these huge contraptions that look nothing like a human being robots, or certainly using the logic of a robot to do tasks, pulling things off of shelves, moving things around. There are manufacturing floors that getting components from one side of the warehouse to another completely controlled by robots. I don't like IBM robots, so says Mats417. They are horrible and don't speak English. Sky Blue Dar says they will eventually win and take over Planet of the Robots. Or maybe the future will be like The Matrix, possibly. If not iRobot, which was a classic. We talked about classic sci-fi novels last week. If you want a good one, iRobot, maybe get employment talking like a robot, says Imbalance by Design. That's a possibility. Some people thought that I was a robot because I never seemed to sleep online. A humanoid robot is not the only robot, says Abe Arbeck Christian. Sorry, I have to read these I wish I had a robot to read these usernames because they could probably nail them. Only Bender robots, says Mornin Snofkin. Oh, wouldn't a Futuramic future be awesome? I'd like one robot, the vacuum cleaner of my house, says Habitavar. Robots took over the auto industry, so says someone else. So, what do you think about robots taking over the job force? Potentially supplanting the value of you. I think there are more opportunities than opportunities being taken away. Robots are, if you know your way around them, good job opportunity, I would say. In fact, they're talking now, and I think I don't know if I've seen them, but I know they exist, at least in the Bay Area. Google has cars that are driverless. These are, you consider them like robot cars. You know, they've got an intelligence unto themselves based on a set of parameters and rules. This is the future, and if you're not used to it, well, your future's going to suck. Mine's going to be awesome. I, for one, welcome our new robotic overlords. How to use your phone as a camera. This is a practical one. Here we go. Out of all the pictures you've taken in the past 365 days, what is the camera you've used most often? And you're welcome to respond in the comment thread. I'm going to go ahead and read from the live chat box here during the TLDR broadcast, the LockerGnome Daily Report, which is something that we produce live on YouTube every day at 3 p.m. Pacific. Today is no exception. If I were to look at my past year's usage, I would say that it would be this phone, my primary camera. I have several digital cameras that surround me, including that new T3i digital camera, which I've used for both video recording as well as still photos. And, you know, depending on the need, I've actually found the camera on my iPhone to work better in certain situations than the lens that I might have carrying around with me on the T3i at the time. This is obviously not a DSLR, not anywhere near a DSLR, but you don't have to have a high-end camera to take high-end pictures. It's less about the camera and more about you, the person behind the camera. I have point-and-shoot cameras that I've used for various photos or videos, even here in the home. I did, just the other day, the Lego dinosaur review. I used this camera largely because I could focus dynamically as I panned around. I needed something that was super wide angle, that had pretty good audio, and that had really good optical image stabilization. And I just didn't have that equipment anywhere else other than on this point-and-shoot camera. I could have used the iPhone, and it seems like a lot of people here. HeyU34 says Droid Incredible. Metal Coat 1000, My Touch 4G. Spring 794, my iPhone 4. Carriester, iPhone. Smofkin 5 says iPhone, obviously, or just phone, obviously. I use the camera on my phone a lot, says Fancy Nerd. The best camera is the one you have with you, and I'm not the one who's originated that quote. I believe that one goes to Mr. Jarvis. But a lot of you are using your phone as the camera. So we've crafted an article for you and talked to professional photographers like Chris Krug, an old friend of mine, to help you maximize your use of the camera on your phone that you have on you pretty much all the time. So if you take pictures with your phone with any degree of regularity, check out the article aptly titled, How to Use Your iPhone as a Camera. Oh, but Chris, I don't have an iPhone. The tips apply to just about anybody. We know there are a lot of iPhones out there, and certainly a lot of Android devices and camera phones in general, but we needed to target it on one particular audience. But I'm telling you, this pretty much applies to anybody who uses a camera phone. Although I wouldn't call an iPhone a camera phone just as much as I wouldn't call an Android phone a camera phone. The camera's on there. So if you're looking for, bless you, Wicket. Sorry, my dog just sneezed there. Too bad we didn't capture that one on, it would have been a blur. If you're looking for tips to maximize the usage, we've collected them for you. Again, take a look at the link in the article. Some of my favorite tips, and we covered a few of these on the post because we know it was a popular. I knew even before I asked, I knew so many people would respond with a phone because inevitably this is the camera that we have on us. So one of my favorite tips is turning on the rule of thirds, or it's grid lines. So let me see if it's bright enough to see. Yeah, you can barely see it there. You see the rule of thirds there? If you align the subject, instead of in the center, if you offset it, onto one of those lines, it's actually going to create, and I don't know if I have it exactly on one of the rules of thirds, a much more, well, mathematically speaking, pleasing image. You don't have to center your subject every single time. The grid lines are there for you to align various objects to create potentially more dramatic photos. If you do not have grid lines turned on, you should. It's applying the rule of thirds to your photos, and that is the number one, I would say, camera tip that I would have to share with anybody. But your phone, and I know the iPhone has it, but your phone may likely have the grid lines there as well. Use them. Your photos will turn out better. Use those points, that little tic-tac-toe board. It's there for a reason, to help you take better photos. We've got so many more tips to share related to cameras and photography, and specifically phone photography. Yes, it is a skill. There's a lot of software available beyond the default apps that might come with your phone. We've outlined, as I said, a few of those suggestions in the article that we've linked in the description, how to use your phone as a camera. Whether it's an iPhone or a smartphone with a camera, it doesn't matter. Everybody can benefit. In fact, I'm going to go to the article right now and make sure I +1 it and tweet it and like it on Facebook, and you should too. Android devices have great cameras. However, the software plays a huge role in it, and Android sucks when it comes to camera firmware. iOS does it perfectly. This is coming from an Android user. Dicky is that person's handle. My name is pronounced Arbeck. Oh, sorry, Christian Arbeck. Let's see here. That's an OS, not a device. Well, software and hardware, they interplay. I mean, they really, I'm not going to say 2 in 1. By the way, thank you for liking this video, the live video, the TLDR broadcast that we're sharing here with you. We have 161 likes today, and I think it's a pretty good Monday. If we can get to, let's see here, if we can get to 350, I'll cut you a break. If we can get to 350 likes today for this live video, I will do a Google Plus Hangout later, and then you can potentially join me. Potentially. I think that I don't know what I want to do. I think that I don't know what I want to do. That sounded really intelligent, didn't it? All right, we're going to take a brief jog to the side here and go back to Lego. I promise that. I know, you guys are so disappointed. Sorry, bro. Oh, sorry. All right. Got a couple more thank yous with the Lego stuff. Giving you a chance to go and get the likes here. Okay. I'll give you a minute. Go ahead. Go share the video. Just let me know when you're done. I'm just going to take a break here. Going to get my tea. Go ahead. Just go like it.
Are they liking it?
I don't know if they're liking it. I have no idea if they're even sharing it. They do that with the LockerGnome articles, though. I know our shares are up dramatically. When I looked at the YouTube analytics, I would say we've never had more shares on Facebook and Google Plus and Twitter than when I mention it in the live TLDR broadcast.
Yay, likes for Diana's birthday.
Yes, likes for Diana's birthday. Although if we don't get 500 likes tomorrow, it'll be a very sad birthday.
Yeah.
All right.
Have another birthday again.
Did you hear that? It's in your control. Diana's happy birthday.
Yes.
All right. Had to get a refill on the tea. Well, I didn't have to, but I decided to.
They had plenty of time.
Mm-hmm. You've had plenty of time. Looking at my invisible watch. And it's not just liking, it's sharing. Sharing is caring. Embed the videos, link back to our blog posts, like them on Facebook, share them on Google Plus, Twitter, wherever you want. Really, there's no limitation on that stuff. Give me a second. All right. We're going to do this Lego video, and then we're going to jump back into LockerGnome again after that. This may turn into a LockerGnome post, I don't know. So, I do read, although I don't do a lot of reading unless that reading is to learn something so it's usually nonfiction, and it's often very brief, not just because I have a short attention span, but honestly, when a lot of the books that I was asked to read stopped coming with a lot of imagery, I got disinterested. Yes, me, as an English major, was very disinterested in longer pieces of work, a lot of longer pieces of work, at least those that did not have photos that went along with them. So on Saturday, I was invited to I guess it was a gathering of sorts, Vern and Wells. This is something that's happening now in the Seattle area. It's really for people who are kind of geeky in nature. It's kind of like a networking group. And they had Dan Parker present. And Dan Parker is one of 6, I believe, Lego certified professionals in the world. And he lives here in the Seattle area. Hopefully, I'm going to be able to escape to his office at some point. He's built Lego structures for like Google and well, anybody would pay him. And yes, people get paid good money to construct Lego for other entities. And one of the gifts that we received was this book, The Cult of Lego. And I did not have this previously, believe it or not. I would see it at the cover. I'm like, oh, wow, that's really cool. Minifig. I'm a huge Minifig fan. And I cracked it open. And what I loved about it is that it's filled with pictures and really a lot of background, including the background on Minifigs, which is my favorite part of the Lego universe. Talking about like the first minifigs that were of certain style. Like here it is. Here's the page. Minifig facts. More than 4 billion minifigs have been manufactured, with nearly 4 figures sold every second, for an average of 122 million per year. Okay, I'm not alone. You may think it's just me. Dude, Lego is huge. Gigantic. So I got this as a gift. I was very happy. Nice picture book, and certainly something that... Okay, so this is my kind of book, a picture book. In fact, I think it was last week I added another book to my Amazon.com wish list at go.tagjag.com/wishlist, and someone picked it up for me. Believe it or not, Carl Conyers says, "Merry belated Christmas, Chris, from your #1 fan, Carl," and he sent me another picture book. So I got 2 Lego books pretty much in the same day. And what I loved about the Star Wars Character Encyclopedia for Lego is that it comes with a special exclusive minifigure of Han Solo. This is the one where he's the award winner. And look on the back, Stormtrooper minifig. This book pretty much details the minifigs in the Star Wars universe, many of which I have. And it's kind of like a checklist of sorts, me saying, oh, I didn't know they had that one. And so I went and added some of these others to my Amazon.com wish list. There's another Lego Star Wars book that has an exclusive Luke Skywalker minifig. I don't have that one yet, but I did add it to my wish list as well. For some reason or another, it was the minifigure from the first one that I had, and I started with the Lego, I guess, experience before they even had minifigs. My first minifig was a city minifig, and I think it was a police officer, no, it wasn't a police officer, it was a city, just a regular city guy, but it was, I think, in conjunction with some kind of police, no, it was a gas station. I'm trying to remember, my first Lego city experience. But, I just, for some reason, have been a fan, and just for, to not really illustrate the point further, I ended up getting a few other gifts from my wish list, go.tagjag.com/wishlist. This is from Westes Rocks, and it's Marion Ravenwood, this minifig. Marion Ravenwood from the Indiana Jones series. I don't know if you're going to be able to tell from this, but she has blue eyes. She has blue eyes on her face. Are you planning to make something from Lego, but not from a Lego kit, says Airwolf28. Actually, I have my home office built in Lego. Someone constructed that for me. Maybe I can get that submitted as an official Lego set. Build Chris Pirillo's home office. I've got it in my home office. You saw it in the home office tour. But, more minifigs are certainly surrounding me thanks to TX Wolfhawk, including my first Batman minifig. I don't know if you knew this. Batman had a run before recently. You want to talk about geeky. It's not just Lego. It's Indiana Jones, kind of geeky. Batman, definitely kind of geeky. Space, so geeky. This one, also from TX Wolfhawk. All of the remainder of these minifigs were gifts to me from TX Wolfhawk. I kind of stumbled through his handle there, but Sassy Tin Jedi from the prequels. This one was she was bisected. Shakti, yeah, she came half bodied, so I had to get pants elsewhere. Classic Robin, not from the new series, but from the old series of Lego. They did Batman a while ago. They also did Spider-Man, and those are definitely worth something. I also received Lando Calrissian in a Skiff-Guard disguise. You might remember from Return of the Jedi. So here we're Star Wars, Batman, Indiana Jones. We got the Riddler. And they've recreated the Riddler in the new series as well. And I think we have another one, Slizzer, getting slizzard on the weekend. How do you have your minifigs displayed, asks Mr. G.R. Piles. G.R. Piles? I just have them on a shelf, a simple shelf. I think they're in the house tour that I posted about 6 months ago. Poison Ivy, the original one. I'm sorry, I have to obscure my head in order for you to see Poison Ivy properly. I don't know, I have dozens, if not hundreds, of minifigs. Gamorrean Guard, I never knew how to pronounce this thing. I didn't think Lego did a very good job with this, though. A lot of detail in terms of a molding, but in terms of color, I don't know. One of the Dengars that is available, the classic Dengar, Bounty Hunter, and they have two Dengars, and I didn't realize this until I was reading through the character encyclopedia book and learned there are two Dengars. I was like, wow, that's kind of neat. So if you do not believe Lego is geeky, you're not appreciating what a geek can be. Certainly, I think this is going to be the year of Lego in terms of geeks and nerds. Not only do we have the recreation of superheroes with the new sets already out, but we also have existing Star Wars stuff. And later on this year, I believe, The Lord of the Rings is coming to Lego. 3 massively geeky things, okay? It's not just for kids. And I know this because people on Twitter are saying that, hey, I'm doing Lego again, thanks to Chris Pirillo for, kind of showing me what's new. And not because Lego pays me, they do not. I actually survive thanks to donations from my Amazon wish list, because it's just something that I do. Think of it like a tip jar of sorts. I don't know. So to me, being a geek isn't just about computers, and really, if that's the geek you want to be, fine. But I like being a multifaceted geek. I like to be interested in many things. I'm not just one-dimensional. Thank God. So, there is my recent Lego haul. That includes some bit of literature, although I think calling that book literature may be a bit of a stretch. I'm going to take that stretch anyway. It's my prerogative. And it's my bricks, too. Loves Lord of the Rings. Why does my screen say this has been going on for 2 hours? I have no idea. We're rounding out an hour. Nice minifig, someone says. Ah. That was fun, doing all the minifigs. And giving everybody, I got everybody props, didn't I? Mm-hmm. Okay. Just want to make sure I did. No, I'm breaking a sweat. I'm just... Stop being such a loser and talk about CES. Says DDIP, DDIP214. Well, I wonder where he got his nickname Dip from. Because we already covered it. All right, so moving along with the next article. Can you lecture a senior? Not a senior. I have to explain that for my Spanish-speaking audience. There's no tilde over the N, although there could be. I don't know why. Chris, why don't you say "e you later" after the short videos? Because I would say "e you later" 15 times over in the course of an entire broadcast, and that would just be kind of awkward. Because then people would tune out, even though there was more to see. Just saying. It's still there, but at the end of the longer episodes, like this one. And this is going to be a long one. No, seriously, I'm going to try to get through this. As I've shared before in this channel and beyond, some of my first home computer experiences were at my grandparents' house. My grandpa had a Commodore VIC-20 connected to a black and white television. And I learned some basic programming on there in the back room. The entire afternoon, I'd be peeking and poking and printing. Well, not printing anything on a printer, but I would be doing a virtual print command. I remember the day that I learned the shortcut for print could be a question mark. That was a long time ago. We cover a lot of topics on LockerGnome, and we have such a wide audience. If you look at our analytics on YouTube in general, you might think, well, it probably skews to younger audiences. Over time, I would say we have an even keel, largely male. I don't know how many females we have in our audience, but most of them are male across the board. For every age range that YouTube measures, we have a pretty, I would say, balanced graph in front of us. So we go out to males of all ages, not just the youngins, but the old ones as well. So on LockerGnome.com, one of our, I guess you can consider him our resident senior, has written an article, Can You Lecture a Senior? And I don't know if you've been in a situation where you've had to explain to someone who is older than you, a particular concept that might be a bit technical. And there have been times that, I've tried to explain potentially technical topics to people who are older than me, and not trying to do it in a condescending manner, but for some reason or another, they seem to pick up on a very condescending tone, because there are only so many times you can repeat that there's no such thing as a wrong click when I say right click. It just means using the right button on your mouse to click. Okay, there may not be an actual button on the mouse at hand, but you could still potentially click it with your right finger. You could use your left finger to right click. It's the right contact. Then you try to think of another way without getting frustrated, and pretty soon it could turn into a lecture. Don't you lecture me, Sonny. Yeah, my day we didn't even have these things. We had something else. We didn't have anything. I don't know. I'm making that part out. I'm not making fun of anybody who might be older than me, even though I kind of did. And at some point in the future, I'm sure you youngins will lecture me, and believe me, I am getting up there in age. Not slowing down anytime soon. And I'm reading here the chat room at live.pirillo.com. TomTom says, some seniors know more than us youngins. In fact, I have older family that spend the days playing Skyrim. Skyrim. I meant to say Skyrim, not Skydrim. The Skydrim is not, it's not a game. Skyrim is. And I used to play it until I took an arrow in the knee. So, can you lecture a senior? When it comes to something that is near and dear to your heart, something geeky, let's say technology, how do you communicate it effectively without offending the person that you're trying to communicate with? I think there's a fine line, with what you try to convey and how you try to convey it. Megusta535 says, my grandpa is very, very simple. He doesn't use phones, TVs, or anything. He's an artist and sits outside and draws. If he was 20, he would be a hipster. Lol. Don't you lecture me, Sonny. In my day, we had typewriters. You may not look it, or you may not look it. You may not think it to look at me, but I learned how to type on typewriters. I had to wait for the typewriters that I used to warm up. No, actually, there are typewriters that I used that were just mechanical, not electric. They didn't have to warm up, but I hated those. I like the electric ones. You can just barely touch the key and then just chow, 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 chow. You'd think it would get annoying, but it was kind of comforting, actually. I do miss mechanical keyboards at times. Not all the time. But, how do you communicate your passion for technology to those who are older than you without offending them? Any tips and tricks that you might want to share? We've shared our own in case you have to deal with people who are older than you. And let's face it, if you are younger than 38, I am older than you. Watch your tone of voice, mister. Lucky I don't have my buggy whip. I never had a buggy whip. That was just kind of it was a witty aside. Well, YouTube's chat box is kind of sticking. It's really weird. I haven't seen an update for a minute, and usually the comments are kind of flying in. This is very strange. I don't know if it's sticking for you guys too, or if it's just me. Maybe it's just me, and I hit refresh, and it's not really coming in. Let's move ahead. Get rid of the color. Man, I'm just tripping over my words today. Get rid of the clutter in your home and go wireless. How to go wireless. This is one that I did a video on before. I wonder how I could spin the wireless content in any other way, if I can. I don't know if I can. This one's kind of set, but we did one on wireless networking today. Get rid of the clutter in your home and go wireless. How? Powerline adapter. Give me a second. Not sure where to start with all this wireless technology? You may consider going with a Powerline adapter, as we've just covered as an option in a recent article on LockerGnome.com, linked in the description. Get rid of the clutter in your home and go wireless. Essentially, you plug one adapter in on one outlet and another adapter in on another outlet, and pretty soon you can connect wirelessly that thing that you plugged into one outlet or another. You can make your entire home wireless, even if you didn't think you could. I would say that, in my neighborhood, I see a lot of wireless networks. Is wireless secure? Well, it depends on the security settings that you might have. The higher you can go, the better. And there are many security options for your wireless network. We've covered them in other articles on LockerGnome.com and in other videos in the LockerGnome YouTube channel, so I'm not going to go too deeply into this. But we list some benefits of having a wireless network if you weren't already wireless. I would be shocked if anybody in my audience wasn't. It's so easy to do. And I would say that a lot of devices these days, even printers and scanners like the one that I've covered, I think really in the recent video of how, or asking how your wireless network happens to be set up. If you're not pre-wired, go wireless. If you don't need to be tethered to any kind of cable, go wireless. Wireless. It's going to be the future. And the more you go this direction, I think the happier you're going to be, honestly. It's not something that is really even an option anymore. I mean, having something that's wired, come on, dude, that's old school. It really is. It's old school. What do you need to know to choose a router? Really, price point is what it comes down to, I would say. The array of options are replete in any particular piece of hardware that you might choose. And it usually comes down to budget, how much you're willing to spend on something. And usually based on price, you're going to get more or less features. Which ones are more important? Well, it depends on what it is that you happen to be doing. Even sound is going wireless these days, as mentioned by Jenford. Get rid of the cables already. I don't know what you're waiting for. Seriously. It's not something even that's something to consider. I mean, unless you really do think, well, should I go wired or wireless? I mean, if you're even asking that question, go wireless. Lock it down with all the security options available, or certainly that are practical for you, including at this point in time going with at least WPA2 encryption rather than going open. I would recommend never having an open wireless network. I would be very careful about that. Even if it may be convenient for you, it also would be convenient for everybody else. And the question was asked here in the chat room, Chris, do you think that wireless connections have a signal that is bad for human health? I'm sure it ain't healthy to have signals bouncing off and around us, but I think there are a lot of signals potentially flying through me right now that aren't good. Not to say that more is better or necessarily worse. I don't know if we really have a definitive answer for that yet. I mean, my microwave here in the house is at crotch level, and I would probably say that standing there while I'm nuking something is probably more dangerous for me than just being hit by wireless signals. We're all going to be hit by wireless signals in one way, shape, or form. But if you want to get rid of the clutter, honestly, there's no time like the present to start. I didn't like that one at all. I hated that one. Oh, that was I got. You know, I'm debating on whether I want to do a separate one on this is the live producer and me talking. It's a good article. It's an outstanding article. The problem is that, you know, we're not really covering anything new than we didn't record like a week or two ago. I got an idea. Here's how we'll spin it. We've covered wireless technology up and down and in and out with all those signals bouncing everywhere. Wireless is generally a good thing. You may have seen some of the videos or the articles posted to LockerGnome.com that we've decided to share, and we've just recently set up a new article. It's not really much to set up, and we've crafted it for your enjoyment and for your information, FYI. Get rid of the clutter in your home and go wireless. And the one thing I want to pull out of this article, beyond the tips, if you've not yet gone wireless, if you never saw any other video that we've done on wireless technology and the decisions around it, is specifically Powerline adapters. So if you've got a piece of technology that is not wireless, you can make it wireless by using Powerline. Essentially, you plug it into a Powerline adapter and then plug another Powerline adapter somewhere else throughout your home on the circuitry, and it's going to connect to the internet by way of the Powerline signal. So if you did not have direct access to a router, if your home wasn't wired, or if your office wasn't hardwired with an Ethernet connection somewhere, close to a device that was just built to be wired, you can effectively make it wireless. And so you really don't have any more excuses. Everything's going wireless. And I know the questions of, is wireless bad for your health? Probably no worse than anything else in this galaxy. People will find a way to become a wet blanket for just about any piece of new technology that we don't know a lot about. Is it bad for us? Could be. Who knows what's bad for us? And there likely are things that we're doing to ourselves right now that are really bad for us, including using technology in general, whether it's wired or wireless. If I'm not sitting in this chair correctly, I could be doing it in an unhealthy way. But, as Dancing Banana Prod here in the live YouTube chat notes, any electromagnetic waves below the visible spectrum, radio, radar, microwave, are harmless. This is according to him. That's my source of information there. You know, there are things that I do to myself that are probably more harmful. For instance, if I were to eat popcorn, I would probably develop diverticulitis. But you know what? I like popcorn. This popcorn, not made in the microwave. I don't like microwave popcorn at all. I mean, the classic popcorn, the little spinny thing. Oh, good popcorn, huh?
It's like a real life show.
Yeah, so Diana, my girlfriend, is watching I guess this is a movie to her. Can you feel the wireless signals bouncing off you? How's that feel?
Great.
Kind of tickles. All right. That was pretty good. More? More? You want more? This is bad.
The movie's not supposed to.
Oh, this is great, guys. I'm reading your comments. Oh, this is great. Yeah. Where'd he go? Will Slingbox die? Yes, hopefully a slow and miserable death. Radio waves excite the molecules. That's kind of titillating.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
Gamma rays are bad. Sorry, I was being entertained by everybody there. See, I don't know, there's something about the popcorn, chewing on popcorn, it's like it puts you in the mood for being entertained. Mm-hmm. Does anybody else watch popcorn when we do these live TLDR broadcasts? I have no idea. As a gamer, I find weird keyboards and mice more responsive. I think he meant wired. Oh. Just kind of an odd spelling of wired. I find weird keyboards more responsive too. What the frick? The Z key is where the T key should be. This is weird. No, it's wired. All right. how to update the DirecTV's new HD guide right now. Okay, this is the problem with eating popcorn. I'm going to be doing this for the rest of gumming myself for the rest of this broadcast. Here we go. Ow, I just bit my lip. Oh, didn't want to do that. Ow, I bit my cheek on the other side.
Both?
Yeah. This is just bad news bears over here. We love staying 2 steps ahead of everybody else, and we try to perform miracles, and we don't always hit that mark. But we do our best to keep you in the loop and really provide practical knowledge in, well, potentially things that you can use right now. We just found out that if you are a DirecTV subscriber, you can update to a new HD guide right now. You don't have to wait. This is something that one of our correspondents, Angelo Carosio, had covered in the aptly titled article linked in the description, how to update to DirecTV's new HD guide right now. Pretty much what I just said. So if you are a DirecTV subscriber, I think you're going to be very happy with this. And you know, I think about the content that I watch on my cable provider, and at this point in time, I'm not on satellite. I use Comcast. Have not yet cut the cord. Have any of you cut the cord and been happy with it? I can't find myself doing that. Inevitably, when I go through the guide, I look primarily for HD content, pretty much ignoring content that isn't in HD. Comcast does make it relatively simple for me to find HD content. I just go HD guide and then I'm good to go. And it seems like every passing month there's new content available on an HD station. Do you guys even watch standard television anymore? Is like that's an option? I mean, even the reruns that I watch sometimes are now rebroadcast in HD. I have the ability to watch standard television or the 4:3 aspect ratio, but I'd much rather watch something in HD. I mean, just the quality. I mean, it's there. The option is there. I cannot. Okay, I can. But I'm trying to think through my own habits, and it's always jumped to HD first. HD. And it wasn't always that way. So whether you are a satellite subscriber or not a subscriber at all to content, or you're a cable subscriber, my question to you is, do you search for the HD content first, or do you even care? It's just, is it the content, or is it the format of the content that is more important to you? And B Brotherhood CCCX says, cut the cord, it saves you money and time. Someone here notes that they have Verizon Fios. I don't even, through most TV here, is HD. Or SD, he notes. Standard definition. And I like this answer. My name is simple. Says, this is my television show. I gotta tell you, as we're doing the live TLDR broadcast, it is not, even though it's in a different aspect ratio, it's not HD. It looks like it is, because it's formatted in widescreen, as we're broadcasting out from my home office here in Seattle. The individual clips that we're recording are being recorded in HD on a notebook computer locally. So we kind of bridge the gap between SD. It's not really. Is the widescreen ratio really SD? Maybe my eyes are cheated. I don't know. If it's widescreen to me, it's like HD, even if it's not like a 720p or a 1080p or beyond. And certainly we'll be looking well beyond here, hopefully at some point in the future. So there's a DirecTV tip for those of you who are DirecTV subscribers, like my parents. It's one reason to share it. What do you guys think about content? Do you go for the content or the format of the content first? That's my bigger question to the community, if you're not interested in the article that we've shared in the description. Yes, SD2. HD is way better anyway. When is your next Lego build? Love them. I don't know. Whenever we do it. Subscribe to everything that I publish things through and find out. It's the easiest way to explain it. Because I usually just share it like last minute. Like, oh, we're doing this. And then you can check it out. So subscribe to the LockerGnome newsletter. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Google+, and read what I have to share. Because that's when you're going to find out. Format and quality would matter to me. Well, yeah, duh. YouTube stream is 360p. Oh, how I missed the wrinkles in your face on 1080p. There is a lot more Spanish HD channels. Oh, that's interesting.
But sometimes HD and the regular one, they play different shows.
Yeah, sometimes.
Check both.
I never browse SD. I just don't. I'm always HD first. Most of the time, YouTube will append the HD to my search query in order to only get HD content, or comma HD, in order to get just HD content. It's one of the reasons why we've been doing most of our videos in 720p when we record them locally. I've always been a fan of subscriptions, going all the way back to my Boys Life subscription that I had when I was a Cub Scout. I also had a subscription to Mad Magazine for a very brief while. Didn't really have a lot of other subscriptions, other than maybe the music subscriptions that I had when I was buying cassette tapes back in the day, and CDs for a brief while, through the catalogs. In fact, I was telling my girlfriend Diana this the other day. That's how I found out about Elton John. I was ordering cassette tapes thinking that I was buying the greatest hits for Billy Joel, and somehow in my head, oh yeah, this is the guy, piano, rock star. Yeah, it's Elton John. So I got Elton John. I'm like, this doesn't sound like the guy I wanted, but he's pretty cool. So that's how I found out about Elton John and became a pretty big fan of his, thinking that he was Billy Joel, and he wasn't. We did not have the ability to, at least on a scalable level, share or listen to music. Certainly not like we could do today. But I've always been a fan of the subscriptions, if only because, there's a chance to get greater discounts for the things that you need to do on a regular basis rather than doing them piecemeal, whether you're buying content or anything else. Since I do a lot of work in front of the computer, sometimes I will find myself really tensing up. In fact, my shoulder has been bothering me, not as much as when I went in to get a massage. And actually, my girlfriend did it, not to take away from the professional massage therapist, but I think my girlfriend did a fantastically better job. She always seems to find the knots, and then she pulls them out. Honey, I don't know if you've considered a career in massage therapy, but you'd be able to do very well at it.
I like doing just your back.
She likes just doing my back. Sorry, folks. I tried. I did. Don't blame a guy for trying. So, and Wickets. Wicket enjoys the massage, the dog. So, we've written an article on LockerGnome.com, and you're welcome to pull it up. I'll do it as well in my browser here, and tweet it, +1 it, and share it on Facebook. Will 2012, this year, be the year of subscription-based services? I've got now a massage subscription, so I'll go in once a month to make sure that my arms can move regularly and I can get around and not become decrepit. It's coming. I know it's coming. The old man thing that every time you get out of there, you grunt. That's how you know. So I'm trying to keep that grunt at bay. I don't really have music subscription services, other than maybe Pandora, but I'm not really paying for it because I don't see the need to pay for it. In terms of the way we digest music, the worst thing we have to put up with is commercials. But we're getting it for free. Kind of saves money, that we can spend elsewhere. There are things that I'm willing to subscribe to and pay good money for. But there are things that I'm willing to subscribe to and save money on. We are now getting a Sunday paper here at the house. How much did I spend on that? It's a Sunday paper for a year. I think it was like $10 or something really cheap. And we figured we'd be able to pick out coupons from it. In fact, just today, I think you picked out a couple coupons that would more than cover the cost of the actual subscription. And that is where subscriptions are interesting to me. When I pay into something and know I'm getting far more out of it than what I'm paying into, it's an absolute value. I don't want to be nickeled and dimed to death, but I'm looking for those kinds of values. We're even looking at this for an upcoming service that may be launched within the next few days. Nomies. That's been the affectionate term that we came up with for our community. We're going to have a subscription model where I'm going to be able to do a certain set of things that should be valuable for you as people who enjoy the things that I do regularly, or the things that we do at LockerGnome regularly, and do it for those of you who are paying a subscription, like an annual subscription. And with this is going to come like any kind of hardware and software deals that I can negotiate for you. Potentially even some freebies that I'm not going to share anywhere else. Vlogs. Diane and I are talking about doing more personal things and sharing that just with the Know Me subscribers. If you want to get your question answered on a TLDR broadcast, Know Me's will automatically float to the top of the stack every day if you have questions as a Know Me. A private Facebook group, pretty much direct access to me, exclusive hangouts, exclusive deals, help with your business. An array of things that people ask me to do on a regular basis, we're wrapping into the subscription service at a rate that, well, you could pay me on an hourly basis, but paying me per hour individually, it would be more than what we'd be asking for on an annual basis. So obviously we're going to continue to do what we do anyway. We're just going to do something a little more special for those who become a Know Me subscriber. You'll be hearing more about that, I believe, within the coming days. Stay tuned for that. And people have been asking about it as well. And the idea is we'll be able to add even more value on top of what we're doing anyway for those people who are putting money on the line. And you might think, well, Chris, I'm your customer already. You are and you're not. You're an audience. You're certainly a part of the community. But there's really no transaction that takes place. No monetary transaction that takes place. And that really is the truer customer. So, in many ways, I want to see just how valuable our community believes the information that we have to share is. And I know so many of you ask me, Chris, I need help with a website. Chris, I need help with a business. Chris, I have an idea. I only have so much time in the day. I can only do so much. And I want to help. And I will help. But it's going to have to come to a specific group of people, because if I helped everybody in that level, I would never get anything done. I'd be helping everybody else, and then I'd be out on the street because I couldn't afford to pay the bills. So I think subscriptions can and do work. I pay into subscriptions. I quit subscriptions all the time, and I join them all the time, looking for unique value. If what I'm getting out of it is far greater than what I'm putting into it, I am so happy to stay a subscriber, to stay a paying member in a service. And we believe, as we've outlined in this article, completely unrelated to the Know Me's stuff that I was talking about, 2012 may very well be the year that subscription services come into prime play. How much will the Know Me subscription cost? It will be for a limited, I would say a limited time. We're going to have it at a discounted rate. I don't know what the price point's going to be yet, but you can pretty much guarantee it will be, you would pay more to talk to me on an hourly basis than you will for an entire year of pretty much the same access. That's the easiest way to put it. Trust me, we're going to jam-pack so much value in there, it's not even funny. And even if you said, well, Chris, I joined, but only if you did this, I may consider doing that to get you to join. Because I want, at the end of this year, I want to be able to have and brag that we have more subscribers, like paying subscribers, and we're able to have a business around paying subscribers and than we do with sponsorship, than we do with advertisers. I want the core of our business, I want the core of our customers to be you directly, and you have a chance to really have direct access to me beyond what I do anyway. How much content do we give on a daily basis? 8 articles today on LockerGnome.com, 10 videos with the same content on YouTube.com. How much value do we provide you today? And think about what you would get beyond that. So even if you saw what we do today as valuable, that should be more than enough. To add on top of that, hopefully you will see the value. And if not, then the subscription service isn't for you. Me, I've always been a fan of subscriptions. I don't think they're going away anytime soon. Sure, you're going to have your own thoughts, and if you haven't already shared them, you're more than welcome to in a comment here, or just read the blog post. We put it there for a reason. We wrote it for a reason, to get your thoughts. And if you like what we have to say, even if you don't like what we have to say, throw it out there to your community. Link back to it. Share it. +1 it. Like it. We appreciate those gestures, even if you never pay a dime. Honestly, trust me, sharing the information that we share with you is certainly more than enough. For free. Is his mom doing this? Huh? You keep on freezing. I don't know why I'm freezing necessarily. Yeah, YouTube's been kind of sticky today. I don't know if it's our internet connection or what. It's kind of weird. Chris is going to get rich. Believe it, every penny is worth it. Thank you, Johnny Boy Live. Backlink of the day, speaking of linking back, a Florida Gator in Virginia.blogspot.com, Brad Tomlinson, he basically linked back to the article that Craighton Miller wrote about Google Chrome. So we caught this. That's the backlink of the day. Feel free to click it in the description for this video. And you can. And by the way, here's your last chance to like this video because we're about ready to close her out. Now going out for 90 minutes. You want to talk about 90 minutes of my life was spent with you. How much is your time worth? An hour. Calculate that. Do some interpolating. It's a lot of time. How much is your time worth? And that's what I ask you to ask yourself at this point. Thank you for liking this video and not disliking it. 8 people disliked it. But honestly, I think a dislike, when you dislike something, you're saying you dislike yourself and your own choices, not mine. I don't know. I don't like dislikes at all. There's nothing to it. I mean, I may have said something that someone didn't like, and that's fine to not like, but to not like it overtly is just, I don't know, kind of rude. I think the internet has a dislike button already, and it's called ignore it and do something else. Thank you for the likes and the 2 additional dislikes, assholes. Chris, you're going to put the house tour on Kindle Fire. It will come with the Nomies subscription that's upcoming, the full-on house tour. So you can stay tuned for that. Didn't quite make it to as many likes as you guys would have wanted today. So no Google Plus Hangout. Sorry, I tried. I gave you guys a chance. That's okay. Got other things you want to do on this Monday afternoon. Chug the drink. There's really not much more to chug. How many emails do you get a day? Asked Bob Life Gosen 1234. At least 200. It's a lot. 8 dislikes as soon as you said subscriptions. Well, that's all I hear, honestly. In my head, that's what I see and that's what I hear. I can only like once. Well, thank you for liking that once. I appreciate that like. And the shares, and the LockerGnome email newsletter subscriptions that I'm assuming everybody's done. You all subscribe to the LockerGnome newsletter, right? It's fun and functional, but more fun. But we throw functionality in there. And the headlines are freaking hilarious. Do you look at the headlines that we send out in the LockerGnome email newsletter? Awesome. I mean, seriously, they're good headlines. We give great headline. Great. Now that's probably going to be the headline. There's probably a better headline in this particular TLDR episode. I don't know. Bob will figure it out. He's our editor. Rockstar, that guy. I got that mug at Walmart, says Joe Sully Carpenter. I got the mug from a gift. I don't know. I don't even care where it came from. Even if it was secondhand, that's what dishwashers are for. So, thank you again for tuning in, sticking with me for 90 full minutes, reading the articles on LockerGnome, subscribing everywhere you need to subscribe and follow. Thank you again for your support. We'll be doing this again tomorrow as we do every single weekday. If you've made it this far into the broadcast, today's word is...
Diana's birthday tomorrow.
Diana's birthday tomorrow. That's not really a word. But it's a good word to say. Diana's birthday tomorrow. Hopefully you will be here to celebrate it. I don't know what we're doing yet tomorrow. I know what we're doing. We're going out to dinner, nice dinner, and we're going to be renting a movie from Redbox. I know nothing special, really, but it's, you know,
It's special to us.
it's special to us. That's what I was going there. Do you have your ring yet?
No.
No, it's okay.
I have popcorn.
She has popcorn, not her ring.
I'll wear it tomorrow.
Thank you. LockerGnome.com. Chris.Pirillo.com. We'll see you later.